Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Job Shop USA. My name is Keith and I'm your host. We're in my shop today. We're at the hydraulic press. The majority of America, huh? All right. Getting ready to epoxy the two discs that we cut out on our wazer, put in the mill, countersunk our holes, and we have our rivets, and we have our epoxy glue, and we set up a couple plates here, and we freshly sandblasted the disc that we're going to be putting the pads onto. All right. So I've got my mixing stick. I've got the epoxy here. I save all my old welding glass, you know, the lens protective plastics. I save them because it's actually a good thing to, nice size for mixing epoxies and things like that. All right, been a while since I used this epoxy. I mean, not that this is old. It's just that it's been a while since I've used bubblegum epoxy, and so I squeegee with my thumbs like that. I get the bulk of it down into the each of these here, because I'm going to cut this off with my scissors, and then I'll squeeze it out there and I'll mix it. I got 45 minutes to play with, and I'm pretty sure that I can mix this up and we can get it in there, and we're going to hold it together with our press. And we can do that. Of course, I don't want you to sit through a 45-minute video of me epoxy and disc in here. All right. This is the one that I'm going to epoxy on the inside. We've already pre-planned the length of our rivets, the stack up that we're going to put underneath, and then our top disc, and we're going to be locating with all the rivets. We're not going to rivet this in here. We're just epoxying it. Then we will be installing the rivets after the epoxy cures. All right. So okay, I think I mixed that enough. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to set this down in here. We're going to drop in our rivets here for alignment. Okay, we're going to throw this in the trash. Squeeze out both packages this time, because I know that one's not quite going to go all the way. Okay, and all right, we're going to let that cure. All right, I want to wipe out the hasn't quite set up yet, but getting close. I want to push the rivets out. So they don't get glued in there, if in question. Just trying to keep the faces as clean as possible. Okay, we're going to let that cure for an hour or so, and then we should be able to install our rivets and be done with the job. Good morning. All right, let's take a look at what we got here. It stuck a little bit on that one. Let's see what we... It's funny, is like the yellow color of this actually came in here because I wiped this down. I wiped them down, you know that, and we still have good glue all the way around. Real close into those holes. We got good alignment still. All right, on the inside, everything looking good. A little sticky here where the ring above that, but a really beautiful bond. Okay, and I think we're gonna be able to take one of our flat chisel scrapers, and we're gonna be able to get that out of there. The next thing is setting up and doing the rivets. This epoxy is pretty tough stuff here, but looks like we got this cleaned up all the way around this whole edge here. Pretty cool. This is what I was interested in, is how parallel is this? You know? Okay, I get in 570 there. 558. 555. 562. 572. 561. 556. So I'm going to set this up in the lathe here, and I'll be dialing this face because actually this part here is for, I never checked that either, so it's pretty close to 3/4 of an inch thick here. Give or take a thousandth. But I should be able to dial this face in here and take any little high spots off of either side of this. And of course I'm measuring the thickness, but I don't know if there's a high spot one way or the other. It's darn close. And having that uniform is probably the most important part about being or engaging smoothly. It may break in the way it is, but I'm not going to do anything with it until I've set those rivets. That's the next part. Because we originally set our rivets in this side here to align everything, they slip in here pretty good. On this side here, there's just a thickness of epoxy there that's not letting them come in on this side. I also think I'll be able to make a tool that will hold our rivet up this way here with support underneath, so that I can do the hammering on this side here for rolling over the tube section of the rivet. So my question is, without running a drill through there and trying to take out too much, because the drill will just barely start in there. You can see it stick up, but the rivet slides through each one of these, and I'd rather leave that epoxy material in there on the bore of that. So I'm going to take a punch, and we're going to see if we can tap a rivet through the epoxy there. That was pretty good. I just dressed that off in the sander there, so pretty good. That sets down in there really nice. Okay, I'm going to get a little scribe so that I can pick the goo from there, and just make sure that we have clearance. I just happened to go down to Baskin's Ace Hardware, and I saw a drawer there, brass washers, and it's exactly the size of the head, exactly the right thickness, and supports on both sides. The original had the tubular rivet, and it kind of rolled over, and of course the old material was like a woven material, a little stouter, and it could probably handle that. But this will actually let me have a foot the same size head on both sides of this brake. So that's what I'm striving for. So now I need to make sure that I can get that washer down inside that tube right there. So I got to go get my scribe to dig out the material that I push through. They come out pretty good. Let's see if I can get that washer to fit in there. I might have to do a little scraping to get that one. That hole is not exactly 100% center in that relief. It's pretty close. You can always find a socket that does the job, right? All right, now I think that's going to be a good swedge over right there. I think that's going to really do a nice job right there. Okay, we'll get the rest of them all prepped, just like that. And then we're going to make the foot to support the back side of these rivets. That's what they'll look like. I got two stuck together there. Might have got touched with the epoxy there last night. That one might have a bit of issue with that. Might have to scrape that one out like the other side. I just took my blade like this and just kind of played around with this. But I have a little deformed on there from tapping it, so I'm going to knock that one out and put another one in there. Okay, it's time to make our support tool for the underside to hold those. So we're basically going to have that diameter on a little flat block that will set this height difference off here, being a little prouder, but we'll be able to lock it, and then we'll know that it's in there supporting that underside against the hard support underneath. And then we'll be able to double set our washer and then roll over our tube rivet. So I came up with two things. I found a nice hardened dowel pin. Haven't decided which way, probably that way. I figured a height and a location on this that I could use for the outer ring and the inner ring. All right, I know that that's logging in there. All right, and I'm kind of playing with the height right here. I kind of like that. I'm gonna get a couple strap shims to level that out on this side. Then I know I'm hard on the bottom of that pin. The other thing I found when I was looking for the pins was this hardened spacers, and it happens to be 5/16 in clearance. So I'll be able to grab that and go ahead and tap and make sure that that washer is 100% secure. And there's a square side here, and there's a tapered side. This one here kind of pushes down the center towards the rivet. I may favor that side right there. All right, this is my go-to all the time. Four pieces of strapping right there. Looks like that'll level it out really nice. Nice, I like that. Okay, I'm gonna grab my small little pair of vice grips so that I can hold this firmly. All right, I put my vice grip so I could use both sides here so we can make sure that we've got it on the outside. This one here is kind of a little bit looser. Okay, nice and clean. Remember our real straight rivet driver? Okay, that's what we're going to be using. It actually sits up on there pretty good. All right, I'm going to use my other hammer here. Let's see how we do. How can you hate that? Next one, get all of our alignments. All right, push down on the outside first. Turn it over, get the inside. Peen it over. I'm gonna have to keep that sleeve now with that that tool, because it really does make that really set down in there nice. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna go for our inside ones now. Same thing. If you feel like it might have bounced out, then you gotta recheck, regroup. We really did good when we made that tool. Not that we strive for anything less on anything else we do, but and the very last rivet. This is the one that was a little offside. There we go. Well, that was quite riveting. Not as far as holding you on the edge of your seat there for the video, but it definitely was for thinking about the project long enough and thoroughly enough that when you finally come to the end of your project, it's pretty much exactly what you had intended to, come out with. Real good bond on the epoxy. I am glad that I let it cure for a certain length of time, and then I pulled it out of the press and I wiped the excess and made sure. If I hadn't have done that, that second ring wouldn't have just barely caught the edge of the dripping, because that was something that through, or sticking, I should say, not dripping. But the level that I got those seated down below there, actually on both sides, I even took my scale and went, like this across the openings there, and that raised area of the rivet is still way down below that surface right there. Just the right amount of epoxy left on there, a little bit, got, just a little tiny bit on the inside. So I just make sure that I got these grooves cleared out and cleaned out. I could probably even jet two of them. I don't have to worry. This one here and this one here are the old use ones, and this one here and that one there are virgin. So I didn't have to do anything with the slots there. I'm using those two slots right there, and they'll lock in on the two keys on this pulley right here. That's where they lock in, right there. All right, just a little bit of moisture, or a little bit of epoxy in there, and we're good to go. Check. All right. Thanks for visiting Job Shop USA. Until next time, get her done.